If you ever plan to motor west on Route 66.
Alrighty guys, welcome back to Miller RC, and I apologize for my lack of content as of lately. Things have been just a lot different since moving to this new location. As far as time management, I just haven't had as much time as I used to have to get videos done. I had no idea how much harder it was going to be to get videos out for you guys, but in any case, it is time for a long overdue update on this 1/5 WACO project. I'm sure maybe you've probably thinking I've forgotten about it at this point, but I am still working on it every now and then. Progress, it definitely has not been as steady on it since I began it, but every now and then I do find time to get a little bit done on it. But in any case, we are ready to give another update. Now, not a whole lot has changed on the airframe wise as far as looks or scale details since my last part, which was part 7, I believe. In fact, I think I had it on this table, but everything is pretty much still the same. About the only thing cosmetically that's different is we did get the windshield installed, as you can see here, and this windshield was pretty simply done. The metal frames that you see was just a masking tape and a metal Tamiya paint paint can, and the dots or the rivets were just a Sharpie marker. So that's pretty much me when it comes to scale canopies, I guess. But in any case, I do think it came out looking all right. And I don't think it's 100% square, but I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, canopy is installed and that's looking all right. But in any case, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that is different on this airframe cosmetically as of now. So if you recall my last video on this airframe, which was actually my giant scale Extreme Flight 91 extra 300 over there, I did mention that we did try to Maiden this back at Miller Field, or back in Texas anyway, and I couldn't get it in the air because I had glow system problems. And in case anyone's forgot, this has got a OS FT160 twin Gemini 4-stroke up front. So it runs off of glow power, glow fuel, all that good stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was originally running a Sullivan glow control system, and I thought this system had stopped working, or it appeared to have stopped working. But in hindsight, it actually might have been my fault, because I learned a lot when I was getting serious, or when I was getting it ready to fly for this video, about glow plugs and glow systems in general. So even though I do think this one still works, the problem I think, or originally I thought that, yeah, this system or this glow had crapped out. But in any case, what had happened is I got it back, or it came back home from the trip from Texas anyway. And when I went to put in my new glow system, which is in there, and that is the Crane Engineering glow system, which, to be honest with you, is a far superior setup or glow system to Sullivan or any of that, any other glow system to that matter. It's basically a modern glow driver for today's times. It can run off of LiPo power, 2 or 3S, or Life batteries, instead of all the big, like, bulky or systems that work off of old NiCad and heavy batteries like that. So I really am liking this crane engineering system, but it was not a simple drop-in fit because I went to test it for the first time in this airframe, and lo and behold, it turned that both my glow plugs that were in here originally were shot. So I don't know if this Sullivan system blew the plugs or not. So that is still a mystery to me. But in any case, I went ahead and threw just some 20 gauge extension wire on everything. And that was another problem because I learned that glow plugs are basically like toasters. They take a lot of amps to glow nice and bright. And for that, 20 gauge wire really doesn't work. So I had to source some 16 gauge wire, which is what's in there now, if you can see that. I used 16 gauge for everything, the glow plug leads, and then the ground going to the engine crankcase there. And even the battery connector here, which I went ahead and put an XT30 on there as well, because a standard Futaba plug just won't be able to withstand the amps that these glow plugs take. So yeah, learned a lot about glow system and glow drivers, but in any case, I am really happy with this crane engineering system. It comes with a status LED that you can put anywhere else, whereas this Sullivan is built into the control board. So you can have a little bit of flexibility with the with the LED there, status LED, telling you whether your glow plugs are lit, they're not, or they're blown in any case. So yeah, quite the experience as far as learning about glow systems, but I finally got that all worked out. And yeah, then once I was able to get a nice reliable glow system, we were able to go ahead and take this thing out for its maiden flight. So about the only other thing that I've been working on is scale flying wires for this airframe, because you know it's a Waco, so it's gonna need flying wires to look cool. And basically what I've got going on here is some paper clips that have these little hoops in them, or loops in them, and then these hooks that are threaded onto, or CA'd and then wrapped in thread, that are attached to elastic cording. So whenever we jab or stick our hands in there, something will flex a little bit. So I've got a few more over here that I can show in more detail. But in any case, yeah, so you see we got a receiver hook here at the end that just hooks onto the loops right there. And in any case, it seems to be working pretty well. I don't think these are gonna come undone. And these elastic cording are so cheap, if they, you know, overstretch or whatever through time, it all should work out pretty darn well. So this I'm still obviously working on, so you can see getting them installed little by little. I'm going off reference photos off of full scale Waco. But yeah, in any case, with all the flying wires, these are not all the wires that are installed, but with what I have, it makes it look much better. Type of plane like this really does need flying wires to look 100% right, and this one's going to have flying wires, as well as a whole bunch of other scale details that, now that we have maidened it, we should be able to work on those now. Because this whole time I was thinking, man, you know what, before I even go all out on scale details, you might as well see how well this thing flies before I even put that much more work into it, because the scale details very well may take just as much time as it did to build this thing, which time-wise is gonna suck, but in any case, it will be a new experience for me, and I will honestly be looking forward to seeing what all I can do with this thing. So yeah, anyway, I'm working on flying wires, and I thought that was worthy of mentioning. Alrighty guys, that will complete part 8 of the in-house update for this 1/5 scale Waco project. Unfortunately, I have not been able to get too much done to it, but I did give a small update in order to get this thing airworthy, and I am pretty excited about these flying wires. I may do another quick video just to show those, or a community post update or whatnot. So in any case, yes, that's the in-house overview for part 8 on this 1/5 scale Waco. Now let's get over to the field and fly this thing. Alrighty guys, it is finally time to get this Waco in the air. As stated in my update video or update section in the video. This thing is not quite finished yet, but it's finished enough to where we can fly it. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done. We are once again at the awesome JCRC field for the maiden flight. Got a nice runway available for us to use, and I think this thing will look really good out here in this field. We got a nice, pretty calm evening. There's still a little bit of wind, but nothing that won't stop this big, beautiful biplane. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead, stop talking, and get the maiden flight on. All right, guys, we got the Waco started up. We're on the other end of the runway just so I can keep it tracking straight. So let's go ahead and get it going. All right, well, she's in the air. Definitely got to add some trim here. All right, so now that we've got this thing trimmed out, start bringing this thing lower and see what it's like. So takeoff was pretty uneventful. Surprisingly, I had to add a lot of rudder to counter the left turn tendency. So it's kind of like a warbird in its takeoff run so far. But it is flying. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm more nervous than anything, but pretty gratifying when you put this much work into something and it flies for the first time. So yeah, we'll probably just do some nice steady passes just for the maiden flight here. But the OSFT-160 Gemini is sounding awesome. And is powering this plane very scale. It's not as much as I anticipated it would be. But it looks very scale. Wow. And it's definitely beautiful. So right away, I think what would really solve this plane is, well, I mean, yeah, with this prop, it's flying very scale. I think I need a bigger prop. If I wanted to do aerobatics. Like, I don't know if I could really pull off a loop right now. The engine is also definitely rich, I can tell. So I could probably crank some more RPM out for some more power. But yeah, I really just think a bigger prop would suit this plane better in every aspect. But hey, it's flying. And it's handling this breeze pretty well. There's some turbulence there, but... All right, so we're gonna try a basic roll here. See what happens. See how much aileron this thing's got. Oh, rolls very scale. I think this thing will be really good at barrel rolls, so that'll be nice. Awesome OSFT-1 Gemini, 61 Gemini sound. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start shooting some landing approaches here. Yeah, I did take off from the other end, but I'm not comfortable with those tree lines out there, so I'm gonna start shooting a couple practice approaches here. just see how slow we can get this thing. So I do think it will land pretty slow, which is nice. Now I got something going on with my tail wheel. We discovered that when trying to taxi out for the first attempt to take off, so that's why I was standing behind it. But so we'll probably kill the engine if I can't control it, just so it doesn't go haywire. But let's bring it in for a landing. Tail doesn't want to stay down. Well, there we go. I guess that's maiden flight. Oh, woo. All right, guys, so we have successfully completed the actual maiden flight on the 1/5 Waco. Oh, I'm so glad to get that over with. Definitely some few things that need adjusting. I do think it's definitely on the tail heavy side. The thrust line also is a bit off. I noticed when I increased the throttle to full RPM, it wanted to nosedive a bit, so got some thrust line issues. Also my tail wheel, as you can see there, are doing some funny things, so we got some things to adjust, but all in all, she flies. I'm just glad to get that over with. So yeah, she's coming back in one piece, and whew, that was nerve-wracking, but she flies. She sounds awesome with the 160 twin Gemini in there. I think she'll be a really good power plant for it, just when we get the better prop on it. But yeah, whew, there it is, guys, the Maiden on the Pica 1/5 Scale WACO project that we've been working on for so long. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning into the Maiden flight, and we will catch you all on the next part, the next part on this 1/5 Scale WACO.
On Route 66.